Welcome to the Fast Tracking the Day of God podcast. We address crucial, often missed aspects of the Christian journey, helping individuals realize that God is trustworthy and understand His incredible plan to rescue and restore humanity. By entering into this partnership with the divine, we not only become conduits of blessings, but also participate in fulfilling the final prophecy that must take place precisely before Christ's second coming, the worldwide proclamation of the eternal gospel.
When reading the New Testament in English, which reflects the Hebrew Bible in Greek, clarification is always helpful. For us, reconciliation means restoring friendly relations between once hostile parties. For Rabbi Paul writing in Greek, it implies shalom and a restored close friendship, fellowship with God. Isaiah 54:10, Ezekiel 37:26, Leviticus 19:17. The word hope, Tikvah, in the original language, conveys much more. It speaks of an anticipation, a chord of expectation, anchored in God's faithfulness. To have Tikvah is to be confident, certain that what God stated will happen no matter what. Joshua 2:18-21, Jeremiah 21:19, Isaiah 40:31 et al. This is an abysmal difference from what hope means in English. It's no surprise that for many, hope is merely wishful thinking. To expand on these concepts, watch our previous presentations on this playlist, and/or subscribe so you don't miss upcoming releases. God, the only source of truth, life, and joy, initially created humanity in His image, that is as close to Him as possible, an eternal, joyful existence based on trust in Him. Tragically, this trust was broken, leading to a disconnection from God. This resulted in God's image in humanity becoming deeply fractured and distorted. Truth was exchanged for lies, life for death, and joy for sorrow. Despite this helplessness, God initiated a rescue plan, providing the only solution to humanity's problem through His own death on the cross. By recognizing our broken state and accepting God's invitation to consider the evidence He offers, we can begin to re-establish our trust in Him. As we continue to follow His guidance, our trust deepens, allowing Him to fully restore His original image within us. Genuine trust in God allows us to receive His Spirit, which in turn enables us to clearly discern what aligns with His original design and what does not. To maintain this trust, we must remain in God's presence and fellowship by 1. Feeding on His Word, 2. Engaging in continuous communication through prayer, and 3. Sharing the overflow of His Spirit and goodness with everyone. These three practices define the active exercise of our trust. They keep our hope and certainty, not as mere wishful thinking, but as a delightful anticipation and conviction rooted firmly in God's faithfulness and dependability. When we receive the Holy Spirit, fear is displaced by love, power, and shalom, peace, as highlighted in 2 Timothy 1:7, Romans 8:15, and 1 John 4:18, among other verses. This delightful experience helps us to set our priorities straight. We start seeing the big picture, realizing that our work here is part of God's huge eternal plan. Our hearts fill with gratitude for such a great honor. Apparent inconveniences or afflictions become insignificant, not worthy to be compared with the unimaginable eternal glory that we will receive once we allow God to restore His image in us. Before the creation of this world, the deity devised a rescue plan in case this new race of beings, made in God's image, would breach the trust in their Creator that made possible their existence. 1 Peter 1:20. When Adam and Eve believed Satan's lies, they were bound to death. However, God introduced the rescue plan to Adam and Eve. Their descendant will eventually crush the serpent on its head. Satan contested that God's norm is strict, unfair, and impossible to follow for created beings. As fully God and fully human, Jesus demonstrated that such assertion was false. Not only that, He also made possible that if we choose, we receive His Spirit and live trusting lives like Jesus. That's the mystery of God, the gospel that needs to be shared, Christ in us, the Tikvah, the certainty of God, walking with us till the moment we are changed into His glory. Jesus living in us and producing His character, His priorities, His love in us are a clear proclamation and demonstration that we have been born again. We don't live for ourselves anymore. 2 Corinthians 5:15. That's why being part of God's mission is a vital part of being born in God's kingdom. That's how our faith is demonstrated. As the head of the church, Jesus desires to bring healing and guide us toward fulfilling the purpose for which his church was established, to share his love. We produce this podcast to extend an invitation for you to partner with us in reaching the millions around us. We have created diverse resources, including outdoor evangelistic media, to ensure the gospel is available to thousands worldwide every single day without interruption. To learn more about how you can become involved, please email us at indestructiblekindness@gmail.com. The power of the gospel not only delivers us from sin, which involves being aligned with Satan and heading towards self-destruction, but it also helps us move on the right path. Upon hearing the gospel, we can decide to follow Jesus and join his church. There we learn more about God's love and his wonderful plan to restore us. We also have the opportunity to choose to become trainees, which the Bible calls disciples. This is where we dive deeper into the Word and the Gospel, develop the necessary skills to teach it, and acquire resources to share it. Finally, once we complete our training and reach Christian maturity, we are ready for the most exciting part of the Christian walk, to become special agents, also known as apostles, emissaries, or ambassadors for God's kingdom. This stage is the most delightful and exciting because joining Jesus' team means that he will be with us always, even until the end of the world, Matthew 28:20. Each of these 3 steps of Christian development is powered by the Holy Spirit through the gospel. God's plan for universal harmony was disrupted when Adam and Eve were deceived by Satan, necessitating the rescue of humanity. Jesus came to earth not only to save the lost, but also to reconcile all things, both on earth and in heaven, back to himself. Sacrifice fully restored the trust of the unfallen beings in God. Now our role is to completely trust God, allowing him to restore his divine image within us. Our participation in God's mission is heaven's method for achieving this restoration. Therefore, our reconciliation with God is completed through Tikvah, a trust-induced hope that results in certainty. We know we have received his new heart when we trust God above all else and begin to share Jesus' compassion for those who are perishing. If you share our interest to save others, please email us at the address shown in this video.